All right, today we are jumping headfirst into the wild, supernatural world of No Exit Island. We're talking curses, ghost ships, and a mythical artifact that literally holds the key to the afterlife.
So, the big question hanging over this whole story is right there on the screen. If the island has no exit, how in the world did they get out? Let's get into it.
You know, our story doesn't start with a noble quest. Nope, it starts with a kidnapping, and it all revolves around one seriously legendary and frankly very dangerous artifact.
And this is it, the skeleton mirror. It's a lost national treasure, but more than that, it's rumored to have some pretty intense supernatural powers. It was last seen on a cruise ship that just vanished, taking the mirror right down to the bottom of the ocean with it.
So who's on this mission? Well, we've got our hero, who's basically forced into this whole mess. He's joined by this very mixed group of treasure hunters, academics, and even his old flame, Shirley. It's a complicated reunion.
But here's the thing you have to understand. For you, this mission is deeply personal. It's not just about finding some lost relic. He's actually trying to save his own soul, because that skeleton mirror is tied directly to a curse that's been haunting him for years.
Okay, so the team is assembled, but the journey to even find the mirror is just as dangerous as the destination. It takes them right into the middle of a massive maritime mystery.
Where are they headed? The Coral Spiral Sea. Yep, it's basically the Bermuda Triangle of the South China Sea. You know, the kind of place sailors are terrified of, where compasses just stop working and ships disappear. And that's exactly where the mirror was last seen.
And this is where things get really, really weird. The crew has this terrifying run-in with a literal ghost ship. I'm not kidding, a phantom vessel crewed by the souls of everyone who's ever been lost at sea.
So, as you can probably guess, the voyage ends in total disaster. Chased by the ghost ship into a massive storm, their own boat is completely wrecked, and the survivors wash up on an island that, according to all the maps, shouldn't even be there.
But this isn't just any old uncharted island. No. This is a lost world, a place straight out of mythology. It's got its own strange rules and, as they soon find out, a deep, and I mean deep, connection to one of the crew.
It turns out they've landed in Goixu, the legendary sunken land of the cursed people. We're talking about a civilization that was thought to be completely wiped from existence, just a myth.
And the mystery here just keeps getting deeper. There's a young woman on the crew named Darling who's been having these awful nightmares. Well, it turns out she's the key to this whole place. So, get this. The way out isn't on some old, dusty map. It's tattooed directly onto Darling's body. The escape route, the key to everything, has been right there with them the entire time. Just when they finally get a little glimmer of hope, when they think they might actually have a way out, that's when the real danger shows up. And it's not some supernatural monster. It's one of their own. Yep, the team's quiet, kind of nerdy researcher, Dr. Shan. He suddenly turns on them, revealing that he has a very secret and very dark agenda of his own.
And this really gets to the heart of the conflict, doesn't it? You've got our heroes who are trying to preserve history, save a life, and do the right thing. And then you have Dr. Shan, who's just driven by pure greed and exploitation.
And here's the real twist that makes it so much worse. Dr. Shan's main goal was never the artifact. It's Doling. He realizes that the last living descendant of a mythical people is priceless, which makes his betrayal so much more sinister.
Okay, so now they're trapped in a sunken world, they've got a traitor in their ranks, and they have to solve one final, absolutely mind-bending puzzle if they want any shot at making it out alive.
Their only way out, their one Hail Mary, is this mythical thing called dragon fire. Apparently, it's a supernatural fire that can literally burn underwater, and once a month, it creates this huge pressure wave that's powerful enough to shoot them right up to the surface.
And their plan to trigger it is, well, it's completely insane, but brilliant. Since there's no moon underwater, they have to make one. They use the skeleton mirror to channel energy from these ancient statues, creating an artificial moon to trick the island's ancient mechanism into blasting them out.
So you can just imagine the climax, right? It is an absolute race against the clock. They're fighting for their lives against Dr. Shan and his goons, all while this underwater world is literally exploding and collapsing all around them.
Remember that cryptic phrase they heard earlier? This is what it was all about. It becomes their mantra for this final gamble. To live, they have to face death head-on. They have to risk everything.
And believe it or not, They make it. They shoot to the surface. Hugh and Shirley finally sort things out, and then, in one last supernatural twist, they get rescued by the very same ghost ship that tried to kill them in the first place.
Which leaves you with this one last thought to chew on, right? After everything they've been through, escaping a land of myth, being saved by a ship of ghosts, where does the real adventure stop and the dream start? Maybe that line between myth and reality is a lot thinner than any of us think.